For most vehicles, 400,000 miles is a death sentence. For these diesel pickups, it is barely broken in. These are the engines built so tough that the truck rusts away before the motor quits. Used, they can be some of the smartest truck money anywhere. And number 1 is the ultimate long mile buy. Number 10, Chevrolet and GMC C/K, 2500 and 3500, 1996 to 2000, 6.5 Detroit diesel. Cheap diesel trucks can be tempting, risky, and useful all at the same time. And the old 6.5 GM is exactly that kind of machine. I am not putting it here because it is perfect. I am putting it here because simple work trucks still matter, especially for a buyer who wants diesel torque without modern emissions bills. The 6.5 Detroit diesel is not a big power hero. It will not tow like a newer Duramax, and it will not make a Cummins guy nervous at a stoplight. But it is mechanically simpler than newer diesels, cheaper to understand, and still capable of huge mileage when the cooling system is right, fuel supply is clean, and nobody tunes it into painful heat. I have seen these trucks used as farm rigs, snowplow survivors, county workhorses, and parts runners long after the interior looked finished. The engine can pass 400,000 miles, but the truth is colder than fan talk. It needs airflow, cooling, good lift pump pressure, and a healthy injection system. The documented high-mile proof is not as famous as Cummins, Powerstroke, or Duramax, which is why it starts at number 10. But old fleet trucks, farm pickups, and work rigs with huge odometer numbers prove the design can live when treated like a truck, not a race toy. Current prices usually run around $4,000 to $12,000, with clean diesel four-wheel drive trucks higher. Inspect the pump-mounted driver relocation, lift pump operation, injection pump history, hard starting, crank sensor trouble, turbo play, coolant pressure, overheating signs, oil leaks, frame rust, brake lines, and transmission behavior. A cheap 6.5 with temperature creep, weak fuel supply, and mystery smoke is not a bargain. A clean one with records can be the cheapest diesel work truck that still hauls, starts, and earns its space. Choose this one when you want simple diesel ownership and you care more about repair access than big towing bragging. The best ones are not flashy. They are dry underneath, steady on temperature, clean on a cold start, and boring on the test drive. I also want to see honest tire size, stock cooling parts, and no homemade wiring around the fuel system. These trucks are old enough that little shortcuts matter. A cracked fan shroud, weak grounds, cheap batteries, and slow cranking can make a decent diesel feel worse than it is. Good glow, clean fuel, and stable temperature are everything. The GM is the budget diesel lesson. But number 9 is the old Ford workhorse that survives by being slow and stubborn. If this diesel truck truth helps, subscribe. We separate reliable engines from costly truck mistakes before you spend serious money. Number 9. Ford F-250 and F-350, 1988 to 1994, 7.3 IDI diesel. Slow trucks can feel annoying until you realize slow is one reason some engines keep living past the point where newer trucks are already expensive memories. The old Ford 7.3 IDI is a perfect example. It is not here for speed, silence, or modern towing numbers. It is here because the international-built diesel is mechanical, low revving, heavy, and honest. Naturally aspirated versions are simple, and later factory turbo versions add useful power, without turning the engine into a fragile science project. You do not get high-pressure, common rail injection. You do not get modern emissions hardware. You do not get a dashboard full of modules deciding whether your truck feels like working today. What you get is an older diesel that wants fuel, air, compression, glow plug health, coolant care, and regular service. That is why owner circles still show these trucks in the 400,000-mile range and beyond. Many times the engine outlasts the bed, cab corners, interior, transmission, and the patience of the person who wants modern comfort. I trust the proof because these trucks lived hard lives. They hauled hay, dragged trailers, plowed snow, and sat outside through winters that would kill cleaner-looking pickups. Current prices usually run around $5,000 to $15,000, with clean crew cab, four-wheel drive, and factory turbo examples bringing more. The inspection starts before the engine is warm. A cold start tells the story. Check glow plugs, glow plug controller, fuel return lines, injection pump leaks, fuel smell, cavitation history, coolant additive use, oil leaks, hard starts, excessive smoke, compression feel, and transmission behavior. Look for frame rust, worn front axle parts, loose steering, bad cab mounts, tired brakes, and hacked wiring. Choose this one when you want mechanical diesel toughness and you do not need modern speed, quiet, or comfort. I would rather own a slow IDI with records than a shiny newer diesel with fuel system warning signs. The IDI teaches a lesson older buyers understand. Simple can be stronger when the job is basic and the owner is patient. It will not win a race, but it can keep working after fancy trucks need a tow. A manual truck feels tougher, but worn clutches, sloppy shifters, and tired synchros still cost money. Automatics need clean shifts and cool fluid. Do not let the old school charm distract you from basic truck condition. A rusty frame, weak brakes, and loose steering can make a reliable engine useless. These are trucks for patient owners, not people who expect modern passing power. If you can live with the pace, the engine rewards you. The IDI is the old school survivor. But number 8 brings global Toyota toughness into the diesel pickup conversation. Number 8. Toyota Hilux Diesel, 1992 to 2004, 2.8 or 3.0 diesel. American buyers argue Ford, Ram, and Chevy, while much of the world quietly uses Hilux diesels like hammers, tools, and farm equipment. That is why the Toyota Hilux earns a spot, even though it is not the usual American diesel pickup answer. The older 2.8 and 3.0 Toyota diesels are not fast, and nobody should pretend they are. They are work engines built around conservative power, low stress, strong blocks, and service access that makes sense in rough places. That is the whole point. In countries where trucks get used on dirt roads, job sites, farms, mines, and long rural routes, Hilux diesels built their name by refusing to quit. Documented high mile proof includes million-kilometer stories, commercial use, rough road service, and owner reports where the truck keeps working after the body looks exhausted. That kind of proof matters because it did not come from gentle Sunday driving. It came from work. The downside is that American buyers have to think harder. Many diesel Hilux pickups here are imports, which means parts access, paperwork, right-hand drive comfort, insurance, and state rules need attention. Current prices usually run around $12,000 to $25,000 for usable imported diesel pickups, with rare, clean, or highly original examples higher. Inspect import paperwork first, because a cheap imported truck with messy documents can become a headache before you even turn a wrench. Then check rust, frame repairs, cooling system, timing belt history, injection pump leaks, turbo condition on turbo models, hard starting, smoke, suspension wear, steering play, brakes, and parts availability in your area. I also care about how it drives at American highway speeds. A global work truck that feels fine at 45 miles per hour may feel tired at 70. Choose this one when you want global diesel toughness and do not mind slower acceleration or import truck quirks. The Hilux is not the best pick for every buyer, but it proves an important point. Diesel longevity is not only an American heavy-duty story. Sometimes the toughest truck is the one people overseas kept beating on until the odometer became almost funny. If you need speed, luxury, and easy domestic parts, skip it. If you want a simple, rugged, world-proven diesel with real character, it belongs on your list. Parts planning is the big thing with these. Before buying, price a timing belt kit, filters, glow plugs, and common front-end parts in your area. If every repair means waiting weeks for shipping, that cheap, tough truck may not fit your life. Toughness matters, but daily support matters too. Also, remember that some imported trucks may be right-hand drive. That is fine for some owners, but awkward for drive-thrus, tolls, and daily errands. The Hilux is the world truck pick, but number 7 is the modern Ford diesel that tows hard if you respect its fuel system. Number 7. Ford Super Duty, 2015 to 2019, 6.7 power stroke. Modern diesel power is incredible, but modern diesel repairs can get expensive fast, and that is why the later 6.7 power stroke needs a careful buyer. I like the 2015 and newer direction because Ford made meaningful updates after the earliest in-house 6.7 years. These trucks can tow hard, pull heavy trailers, cruise at highway speed with authority, and stack up work miles when the owner treats fuel, filters, oil, coolant, and emission systems like serious business. The engine is a strong diesel V8 with real torque, but it is not an old mechanical farm motor. It has a high-pressure fuel system, turbo hardware, exhaust after treatment, sensors, and cooling demands that do not forgive neglect. That is the difference between long-mile potential and costly regret. High-mile Super Duty work trucks over 400,000 miles are out there, especially in hotshot, fleet, towing, and contractor use. But the clean ones usually have service records that look like a business expense, not a suggestion. Current used prices usually run around $22,000 to $45,000, depending on miles, cab, trim, four-wheel drive, and records. That is serious money, so the inspection has to be serious. Check fuel pump history, fuel filters, water contamination, diesel exhaust fluid system, diesel particulate filter regions, exhaust gas recirculation cooler, turbo actuator, coolant leaks, oil leaks, front-end wear, transmission temperature history, trailer brake use, and evidence of heavy tuning. A deleted or tuned truck might sound appealing, but it can hide hard use and legal headaches depending on where you live. Choose this one when you want modern towing power and are willing to inspect fuel and emissions history like your wallet depends on it. It does. I would also pay close attention to idle hours, not just miles. A truck with lower miles and huge idle time may be more worn than the odometer suggests. Look at the driver's seat, pedals, hitch wear, bed wear, and service intervals. The 6.7 can be a monster when maintained, but it is not a cheap diesel toy. It is a powerful work truck that rewards disciplined owners. I would also avoid any truck that has been used like a rolling horsepower contest. Big tunes, huge wheels, blocked emissions parts, and missing service records change the risk fast. A stock work truck with steady maintenance is usually safer than a shiny street truck that lives for attention. Modern diesel ownership is about discipline. Filters are not optional. Coolant is not optional. Waiting until a warning light appears is already too late. The newer Ford is powerful, but number 6 gives you a Cummins inline 6 with modern torque and old-school diesel character. Number 6. Ram 2500 and 3500, 2013 to 2018, 6.7 Cummins. A newer Cummins can feel like a monster, durable and almost commercial-grade machine, but only when the emissions system and service history are not ignored. The 6.7 Cummins inline 6 comes from a heavy-duty engine family, and that matters. Inline 6 diesels have balance, room, torque, and a bottom-end design that feels built for work rather than bragging. These years are better sorted than the earliest emissions-era trucks, and serious towers often look for 3500 models with the ASIN automatic because they want a stronger transmission path for heavy loads. The engine itself can run far past 400,000 miles when oil service, fuel filters, cooling, turbo health, and emissions components are maintained. Cummins owner programs, commercial use, hotshot trucks, and RV transport rigs give plenty of proof that these engines can keep working long after normal vehicles are tired. But the truck around the engine matters. Steering play, front-end wear, rear differentials, transmission service, and rust still decide whether the deal is smart. Current used prices usually run around $20,000 to $45,000, with ASIN-equipped 1-ton trucks, clean 4-wheel drives, and lower-mile rigs higher. Inspect diesel particulate filter history, diesel exhaust fluid system, exhaust gas recirculation cooler, turbo actuator, grid heater recall or repair status, fuel filters, injector balance, blow-by, transmission service, front-end wear, steering play, rear differential condition, hitch wear, and trailer wiring. Also, check idle hours because these trucks often spend a lot of time running while not moving. Long highway miles can be cleaner than endless idling. Choose this one when you want Cummins torque, modern towing ability, and a truck that can work hard past 400,000 miles. The sweet spot is a truck with boring service records and no power level nonsense. If the owner talks more about tunes than filters, I get cautious. A stock truck that pulls steady loads, gets serviced on time, and does not smoke like a freight train is the one I want. The 6.7 gives you modern muscle without losing the inline 6 feel, but modern muscle brings modern costs. Respect that, and it can be a longer, stronger, high-mile truck. Ignore it, and it can punish you harder than an old mechanical diesel ever could. Look closely at the front end, because heavy Rams can eat steering and suspension parts when used hard. Ball joints, track bar wear, steering boxes, and wheel bearings all matter. A Cummins may feel unstoppable, but if the truck wanders across the lane, the engine is not the only bill. I also like to see stock tire size, or close to it. Oversized tires add strain to steering, brakes, gearing, and the automatic transmission. The 6.7 brings modern muscle, But number 5 is the cheaper Duramax that needs one specific inspection before you trust it. Number 5. Chevrolet Silverado and GMC Sierra 2500 HD 2001 to 2004 LB7 Duramax. The first Duramax changed GM diesel trucks, but cheap LB7 pickups need one brutal, expensive, unavoidable question answered before you trust them. What happened to the injectors? The 6.6 Duramax gave GM real common rail power, strong towing manners, and paired with the Allison automatic, which made the truck feel more modern than the older diesel competition. The bottom end is strong, the truck pulls well, and clean examples can run huge mileage. Duramax pickups have documented million-mile examples, and early trucks with giant odometer readings are common in towing, farm, and hotshot circles. But the LB7 is famous for injector issues, and pretending otherwise is how buyers get hurt. Injectors can leak fuel into oil, cause hard starts, haze white smoke, and turn a cheap truck into a costly repair before the first trailer is hooked up. That is why the records matter more than the paint. Current used prices usually run around $8,000 to $20,000, with injector-done trucks and clean four-wheel drive examples higher. A cheap LB7 with no injector history is not automatically a deal. It is a question mark. Inspect injector replacement history, balance rates if scanned, white smoke, fuel smell in oil, hard starts, oil level rising, water pump leaks, head gasket signs, cooling pressure, Allison shifts, transfer case pump rub, front end wear, frame rust, brake lines, and trailer wiring. Check the bed for gooseneck use, look at the hitch, and ask what the truck towed. A Duramax that hauled every day can still be fine, but it needs records. Choose this one when you want Duramax power cheap, and you can verify injector history before money changes hands. The value is real because Allison gives confidence, and the engine foundation is strong. But high-mile diesel shopping is not about hope. It is about proof. If the seller says injectors were done, ask when, by whom, and with what paperwork. A truck with documented injectors, clean shifts, good cooling, and a dry underside can be a smart buy. A truck with smoke, fuel in the oil, and a vague story is somebody else's repair bill. Do not confuse Allison's confidence with automatic approval. The transmission is strong, but fluid color, shift timing, cooler lines, and service history still matter. A truck that is towing a heavy load with dirty fluid can be tired even if it still moves. Strong parts still need clean service. Also, check return lines and fuel leaks around the engine valley. The diesel smell is not characteristic. It is a repair request. The LB7 is the value Duramax, but number 4 is the Ford diesel mechanics trust when the mileage gets silly. Subscribe if you want the engine truth before the truck hype. Diesel mistakes are expensive, and the right checks matter. Number 4. Ford Super Duty, 1999 to 2003. 7.3 Power Stroke. A 7.3 Super Duty with real records can make 400,000 miles look almost normal, honest, and not even dramatic. This is the Ford diesel many mechanics still respect because it sits in the sweet spot between old-school toughness and usable modern truck comfort. The 7.3 Power Stroke uses a strong iron block, conservative power, low engine speed, and a high-pressure oil injection system that lasts when oil quality is right. It avoids exhaust gas recirculation, diesel particulate filters, diesel exhaust fluid, and modern emissions complexity. That alone makes it attractive to buyers who want a truck they can understand. Documented 7.3 trucks have crossed 1 million miles, and examples in the 400,000 to 500,000 mile range are not shocking when the whole truck is maintained. I have seen these with torn seats, scratched beds, faded paint, and engines that still start like they are late for work. Current used prices usually run around $8,000 to $28,000, with clean crew cab four-wheel drive trucks and manual transmissions bringing serious money. The engine is famous, but the truck still needs inspection. Check cold starts, glow plug relay, injectors, high-pressure oil leaks, high-pressure oil pump performance, turbo play, up pipe leaks, oil pan rust, transmission service, front-end wear, cab mounts, frame rust, blow-by brakes, steering wander, and rear axle noise. Automatics need special attention because a strong engine can outlive a tired transmission. Also, check for tuning. Mild upgrades are one thing. A truck that has been beaten with big power and no gauges is a risky buy. Choose this one when you want proven diesel life, huge parts support, and a truck most diesel shops already understand. The 7.3 works because it does not try to be clever. It makes enough power. Not ridiculous power. It has massive support. Not mystery parts. It can be repaired by people who have seen the same failures for decades. That matters when you are buying a high-mile diesel with your own money. I still would not buy one blindly. Rust, blow-by, weak cold starts, dead injectors, and slipping transmissions can ruin any legend. But a clean 7.3 with records is one of the safest old diesel bets left. The other strength is support. Diesel shops, parts stores, forums, and old fleet mechanics know these trucks. That lowers fear because the failure pattern is known. Known problems are not free, but they are easier to price before buying. Mystery is what gets expensive. Mileage matters less than cold behavior here. A clean, cold start with minimal smoke tells me more than a washed engine bay. The 7.3 is the Ford legend. But number 3 is the Duramax that many buyers call the sweet spot. Number 3, Chevrolet Silverado and GMC Sierra 2500 HD, 2006 to early 2007 LBZ Duramax. When diesel guys argue about the best Duramax, the LBZ shows up fast because it hits a rare, powerful, respected balance. It has strong power, better drivability, and fewer reputation stains than some other Duramax eras. The 6.6 LBZ kept the strong Duramax foundation, paired well with the 6-speed Allison, and avoided the later Bosch fuel pump risk found on later LML trucks. It is not old and slow like the mechanical legends, but it also avoids some of the newer emissions headaches. That is why buyers chase it. Duramax million-mile examples show the platform can go far, and LBZ trucks are known for high-mile towing, ranch work, RV hauling, and long highway use when not abused or overtuned. The engine can pass 400,000 miles because the bottom end is strong. The fuel system is respected. The Allison helps the truck survive work, and the power level feels usable without needing silly modifications. Current used prices usually run around $15,000 to $35,000, with clean, low-mile crew cab, 4-wheel drive trucks often priced even higher. That price strength tells you the market knows what this is. Inspect injector balance, return rates, water pump leaks, coolant pressure, head gasket signs under load, turbo vane behavior, Allison shifts, transfer case pump rub, cooling stack cleanliness, front end wear, rust, brake lines, steering play, rear differential condition, and evidence of heavy tuning. A stock LBZ with records is the prize. A tuned one with big tires, hot exhaust numbers, and no transmission proof is a warning. Choose this one when you want Duramax towing strength, Allison confidence, and fewer emissions-era headaches than newer trucks. The LBZ is not cheap in the way an old 6.5 is cheap. It is cheap in the long-term sense when it saves you from buying the wrong diesel twice. Sometimes the smarter value is paying more for the truck that does not need excuses. I like the LBZ because it feels modern enough to use every day, but old enough to avoid the worst complexity. That is a powerful mix. I would also inspect the cooling stack carefully, because tow trucks collect dirt, bugs, and debris between coolers. Heat kills diesel confidence. A clean radiator, clean intercooler, good fan clutch, and stable temperature under load tell you more than polished paint ever will. If the seller brags about a hot tune before he mentions maintenance, I get careful fast. Power is cheap. Longevity is not. The LBZ is the GM sweet spot, but number 2 is the Cummins cult truck people still fight over. Number 2, Dodge Ram 2500 and 3500, 1994 to 1998, 5.9 12-valve Cummins. The 12-valve Cummins is not famous because people are nostalgic. It is famous because it earned, survived, and proved itself in ugly places. The 5.9 12-valve Cummins is the old mechanical inline 6 diesel that diesel buyers still chase with real money. The P-pump trucks are simple, strong, low revving, and built around a heavy-duty engine design that feels closer to commercial equipment than a normal pickup motor. No common rail injectors, no diesel particulate filter, no diesel exhaust fluid, no modern emissions web, just fuel, air, compression, timing, and enough iron to make the engine feel stubborn. Cummins high-mile and million-mile programs are full of proof that these engines can run extreme mileage, and Dodge Ram Cummins trucks passing 1 million miles are not just campfire talk. 400,000 miles can be the middle of the story when the truck is serviced and not abused. Current prices usually run around $10,000 to $35,000, with clean manual 4-wheel drive trucks priced like collectibles, and some exceptional examples even higher. That means you are not hiding a secret anymore. You are shopping at a legend. Inspection matters because the engine may be tougher than the truck around it. Check killer dowel pin repair, blow-by, cold starts, fuel leaks, injection pump tampering, cooling system health, clutch condition, automatic transmission health, cracked frame areas, steering play, rust, rear axle noise, front-end wear, and whether power was turned up too far. A 12-valve with a big fuel plate story, heavy smoke, and no gauges can be a costly toy. A stock or lightly worked truck with records can be a lifetime tool. Choose this one when you want mechanical diesel toughness, cult-level parts support, and an engine that feels built before trucks got complicated. I respect these because they are honest. They rattle, they smell like diesel, and they do not pretend to be luxury trucks. But they start, pull, and keep working when cared for. The downside is comfort, noise, age, rust, and inflated pricing. You buy one because you want the engine and accept the old truck around it. If you need quiet seats and modern manners, number one may fit better. The cult following is a blessing and a curse. Parts support is huge, but prices can get silly. Do not pay the collector money for a truck with farm fixes and hidden rust. The engine may be legendary, but the deal still has to make sense. A 12-valve should feel honest, not hacked together. Simple wiring, clean fuel lines, and normal idle matter more than shiny paint. The 12-valve is the legend, but number one is the best overall balance of old Cummins strength and everyday usability. Number 1, Dodge Ram 2500 and 3500, 2003 to 2007 5.9 Common Rail Cummins. If my own money were going into one high-mile diesel pickup, the 5.9 Common Rail Cummins Ram is where I would start looking first. It does not win because it is the cheapest, the prettiest, or the most collectible. It wins because the engine, parts support, usability, and long-mile proof all line up. The 5.9 Common Rail Cummins keeps the inline-6 strength but adds better drivability, cleaner power, and stronger daily usability than the older mechanical trucks. These years avoid the diesel particulate filter system that arrived later, and they have enough power to tow modern loads without feeling ancient. Cummins-powered Ram trucks have official million-mile recognition, and high-mile examples past 400,000 miles are common in hauling, hotshot work, RV transport, farm use, and contractor fleets. That is not luck. The engine has a heavy-duty foundation, low revving torque, huge parts support, and a design that responds well to regular fuel and oil service. Current used prices usually run around $12,000 to $35,000, with clean manual trucks, low-mile examples, and rust-free four-wheel drives higher. The inspection is where this truck separates smart buyers from dreamers. Check injector balance and return rates, blow-by, hard starts, rail pressure, lift pump health, turbo play, valve cover leaks, cooling system, transmission service, front-end wear, steering slop, rust, rear differential, trailer wiring, and evidence of aggressive tuning. The common rail injectors are not something to ignore. A smooth-running truck with clean starts and records is a different machine from one that hazes, knocks, or needs ether. Choose this one when you want the smartest overall diesel pickup. Cummins strength, usable power, massive support, and better daily manners than the older legends. A clean 5.9 Common Rail Ram can tow, commute, haul, and work without feeling like a museum piece. That is the sweet spot. I like it because it gives a 45-plus buyer the diesel feeling without forcing him to live with a truck from another century. You get real torque, real parts support, and enough comfort to use it. But stay honest, the automatic transmission needs proof. The front end needs inspection. Rust still matters. Tuning can ruin anything. A famous engine cannot save a rotten frame or a slipping transmission. The best one is boring. Clean fluids, stock power, good cold start, steady idle, clean shifts, tight steering, and service records. That is the truck I would trust past 400,000 miles. It is not magic. It is the right engine, in the right years, with the right owner history. For these, I want proof of lift pump health because a weak fuel supply can hurt injectors. I also want to know whether the truck lived stock or tuned. Mild work use is fine. Aggressive fueling, hot exhaust temperatures, and no gauges are the signs that someone borrowed life from the engine. The right common rail truck should feel tight enough to work tomorrow, not like a project wearing a famous engine badge. That is why it earns the number 1. If this saves you from one costly diesel mistake, subscribe. We show the engine truth before the truck hype drains your wallet. Buyer cheat sheet. Here is the diesel rule. Mileage alone does not scare me, but bad maintenance does. 6.5 GM is the cheapest diesel gamble, best only when cooling, pump-mounted driver, and fuel supply checkout. 7.3 ID. I-Ford is the old mechanical workhorse, best when you value simple repairs over speed. Toyota Hilux diesel is the global survivor, best when you accept import quirks, slow power, and parts planning. 6.7 Power Stroke is the modern tow pick, best when the fuel system and emissions history are clean. 6.7 Cummins Ram is the modern inline-six workhorse, best with real emissions and transmission service records. LB7 Duramax is the cheap Duramax, best when the injector history is documented. The 7.3 Power Stroke is the mechanic-trusted Ford, best when high-pressure oil and cold start systems are healthy. LBZ Duramax is the GM sweet spot, best when you want Allison towing strength. 12-valve Cummins is the cult legend, best when you want mechanical diesel toughness. 5.9 Common Rail Cummins is the smartest overall buy, best when you want strength and daily usability. Main rule: do not buy a diesel pickup by mileage alone. 400,000 miles on a serviced highway truck can be safer than 180,000 miles on a tuned, idled, overheated, rusty truck. Check records, blow-by, cold start, fuel pressure, injector health, cooling system, turbo play, transmission shifts, frame rust, front-end wear, rear axle, trailer wiring, and emissions history where equipped. Diesel engines can last forever, but diesel mistakes are costly. I would rather buy a high-mile truck with oil records, filter records, clean fluids, and a boring owner than a low-mile truck with smoke, tuning, bad tires, and no paperwork. Look at the hitch. Look at the bed. Look at the pedals, seat, steering wheel, and frame. A truck tells you how it lived. Towing is not bad. Neglect is bad. Highway miles are not bad. Overheating is bad. Idling all day is not the same as moving down the road with airflow and a stable temperature. Ask for a cold start. Watch for smoke. Listen for injector knock. Check coolant pressure. Feel every shift. Look for fresh undercoating hiding rust. If the seller rushes you, that is a warning. If he gets angry about a diesel inspection, let him keep the truck. These engines earned their reputation because owners worked them, serviced them, and understood them. They were not meant to be fashion accessories with smoke tunes and cheap lifts. Buy the truck that looks ready for another 100,000 miles, not the one that only looks good in pictures. One last rule: never buy a diesel because a stranger says it is barely broken in. Make the truck prove it. A true long-mile diesel starts clean, runs stable, shifts cleanly, and does not need excuses. A great diesel buy always feels boring. Cold start, idle, temperature, steering, braking, and shifting should feel steady. Click the next video before these diesel legends get priced higher. Subscribe for reliable engines, cheaper repairs, and truck advice built from real miles.